Key, are there any concerns that Luka isn't the right fit for your Lakers?
No, it's the right fit because half this team, as we move forward, half this team won't even be there as we move forward. Because think about it, this was really about the future initially. And then all of a sudden...
Oh, we going to the future now.
But you didn't even let me finish, though. But you didn't even let me finish. I'm saying this really was about the future until we got Luka. Then all of a sudden,
we can win now. When they did the trade,
you shut up.
Gosh, you
one time. No, I'm not. You're not letting me finish.
All right, let me hear.
Okay, so initially it was about getting Luka, about the future. The future is gonna be bright for us.
Right.
And then we started playing well, and it was like, oh, well, we might. Okay, we're going to make a run right now. And then we start making this little run, this run. And it start looking better and better like it's going to be right now and the future. Okay, so it's not a bad fit moving forward. It may be a bad fit based on the construction of the roster right now, today, Paul Anthony Pierce. Today. But tomorrow...
Using your government name.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be totally different. That's the way I look at it. I'm not concerned with it. We got the guy that we want.
Tomorrow is it's going to be different because they ask going to be out the playoffs.
Well, I'm talking about tomorrow, meaning the future, sir, not literally tomorrow. But look, half this team ain't even going to be there when we really start rolling.
So you're not concerned because if it's not the right fit, they're going to build the team around Luka moving forward?
1,000%. They just got to find, man, I love LeBron to death, man. LeBron at 40 years old is just doing some of the best basketball that you can imagine. But at some point, LeBron got to go, man. You just got to stop progress stopping, man. You just got to go at some point. No, for real, though, Paul. It's like Boston with you. You had to go at some point because it's progress stopping. And at some point, the progress, he's going to have to move to that 3-4 spot for us at some point. Now, I don't know when that is, but at some point, I'm telling the truth, Joy.
He's got that mafia mentality.
One game.
No, it's not really one game.
Changes the whole.
It's really not one game.
If they were not in a 3-1 hole right now.
Yeah, but if was a fit.
Yeah, you're right. Paul, what do you think? Not a good fit?
Luka is the absolute right fit for the Lakers because, for one, he vaults them into the future. You get a young superstar. And L.A. Lakers have been built on superstars, and that's what Luka is. Is the team the right fit for Luka? Absolutely not. Luka doesn't have the lob presence. He doesn't have defenders around him that can make up for his weaknesses. As we saw a year ago, the reason Dallas went as a 5th seed to the finals. That team wasn't special, but it was built for Luka after they made those trades around shooters, guys who could defend, and guys who are lob threats at the rim to take advantage of his passing ability. Now it's composed of mainly guys who can shoot and give it to LeBron if Luka doesn't have it.
This team is built for LeBron.
Yes, it's built for LeBron, actually.
Yeah, which is a different animal than Luka Doncic at this point. And Rob Pelinka has had a lot of experience reworking this roster. Because then the next question is, okay, so do you have the front office that's capable of building the necessary team around Luka? And I think that the job that Rob has done several times since LeBron has been here, he's been able to rework the roster. So I'm going to put belief in him that he's capable of doing that. But look, when they first got him, we all said this is a step for the future, but it's a step back for the present. And then they were better than expected, and we got a little over our skis, and it was suddenly they're going to be a title contender. And that was just an overreaction to them being better than we expected. I also like having J.J. Redick as Luka's head coach going forward, because J.J. has demonstrated that he's not afraid to hold stars accountable, that he's going to get into them. And I honestly believe that's what Luka needs, that if they're going to go forward, you need somebody who's going to say, hey, Luka, you need to defend. You need to be in shape. Like, we need you to take the next step in order for us to be everything that we can be. And I think J.J. Redick has the personality and willingness to do that.
Yeah, I think everyone's freaking out, as they usually do when it comes to...
Yeah, the overreaction.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an overreaction. Things don't always come together as quickly as you imagine. We just talked about the Warriors and Jimmy Butler coming to the Warriors. and it's clicked right away. Jimmy Butler is a completely different player than Luka. They have a different culture. They have different coaching. They have a different roster setup. They have different levels of experience throughout the roster. It's not the same thing. Sometimes these things take time to put together. And the team was built for LeBron, not built for Luka. And Luka is for right now and for the future. So I think it's disappointing because we thought going into this series that they had a real opportunity based off of how they were playing, how things were looking. And I think we grossly underestimated the capability of the Timberwolves as well.
Y'all just got us man.
What?
Dang, man, we ain't even played yet.
What played what?
You played 4 games.
Yeah, but we still got a game tomorrow. We still,
haven't played
we still
what?
got
No, I will give you that.
At the end of the day, this is a disappointment, Key. It's a true disappointment. You guys are
it
3
is disappointing to
seed
be
versus
sitting there.
6 seed.
Yeah, but it's a
You know what I'm
but that
saying?
ain't a real 6 seed either.
But
though.
you made it like, no matter how you flip it, Lakers are the favorite, you're the 3 seed. And y'all had a chance to possibly get to the 2 seed at some point.
Yeah.
Now to be down 3-1 to a 6 seed, you know, that's disappointing. Especially with a team with Luka and LeBron, it's disappointing.
Wait.
He's working on the Obit, man. Come on now.
Yes, we need to start hitting Chat GPT to put it together properly, okay? Because what are you talking about? You have also said they're going to lose this series.
I'm just talking. Don't listen to me.
Okay.
Key's footwork is unbelievable. It's next level because you pivot like nobody else.
He was a #1 overall pick for a reason. He can maneuver around something.
No.
Even if they were to pull off what is essentially a miracle and win this series, you can't feel confident about their ability to make a run after scraping through this series if they're able to do that.
If they're able to do it, then yeah, you feel comfortable. Why wouldn't you?
Because this is an older team.
Okay, so and
Can I do a quick impression of Key in the last 2 minutes? We're done. We have a chance. We can win it all. We're done. But maybe.
But that's because Key's truly a fan.
oh man, y'all tripping.
That is what it is. Is there any chance they win this series?
No, I think this is pretty over. Most of LeBron has played in about 4 or 5 different times where his team was down 3-1. He's won that one time, and that was in the finals, but that was his younger days. That was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has enough left in the tank to carry a team the next 4 games like he did 10 years ago. So I think it's over.
Man, a lot of, what Biggie say? A lot of singing and flower bringing.
A lot of singing,
A lot of slow
flower
singing
bringing.
and flower bringing. We talk about slow singing and flower bringing.
Yeah.
That's what that was. So how nervous should Paul be about the Cavs, Rick?
You should be on high alert.
High alert.
Yes. The Cavs
I agree.
took care of business. They did it without Darius Garland the last 2 games. There was never any doubt. Came out strong in every game. There was never a doubt. And you can look at the Miami Heat and question, how much talent they have. It's a very well-coached team. They don't beat themselves. You have to knock them out. Maybe game 4, we could say they packed up a little early. But the first 3, they were out there, as Eric Spoelstra would say, irrationally believing that they could do something in this series. And the Cleveland Cavaliers demonstrated to them otherwise. They have everything going right now. Defensively, shooting, inside, outside, everything seems to be clicking. So is it going to be an interesting series between Cleveland and Boston? Should we get there? Absolutely. But the other part is Boston now faces a tough series, a tough physical series, much like the Magic one. Obviously, they still have to finish that up. But they have to go through another tough physical team. And I don't know that the Cavs are going to face that with the Pacers. The Pacers, whatever they are not a team that sort of takes a bite out of you. And I think Boston is going to see that. So they could be in 2 different places coming into the conference finals if that's what we see.
Maybe Rick just saw Sinners.
Huh? Oh, you just saw Sinners? How was it?
What?
No,
man,
Rick didn't see Sinners.
I didn't see. No. I had.
How nervous should Paul be about the Cavs? I really do the show for our producers.
No, I think he should be nervous, not scared. Nervous, because
nervous, not scared.
Yeah, but I think Cleveland will get maybe 1-2 games out of the situation. But I believe in Boston. I think Boston, their depth is just incredible. When players can miss games and other players can step up to the plate and get the job done, that says a lot. And they've been here before. That's important. That the way that they got their championship a year ago and lost the year before and the year before that in the conference finals, it just says something. Now they have an opportunity and a chance to go back-to-back. I mean, it's just I like Boston in this situation. And Paul going to tell you Boston in 6 or something crazy like that, because that's probably what's going to happen.
Well,
but they do got to get through the Knicks.
Yeah,
they got to get through the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, they are concerned. They are concerned without a doubt, because they've shown they check all the boxes for a contender. Do they have a superstar that can carry them? Yes, he's shown me that. And Donovan Mitchell, you know, he had the game where he willed his team in the game 3 in the fourth quarter in the comeback. He could put them on his back. Do they have defense? Do they have coaching? They have all-star play. But the one thing I will say that I haven't seen this year from the Cleveland Cavaliers, they haven't been through no real adversity. You know, I feel like you really got to go through something to get to where you need to go. You know, they lost last year to us and they dealt with the injuries, but this been pretty a smooth ride. And I liken this to our season when we won the championship. We had no adversity, Key, and during the regular season, we cruised through the season. Our first adversity came in the playoffs in first round. We went 7 games with Atlanta. We put ourselves in a situation where it's win or go home in the first round. Our first bit of adversity, and this is where we start to find out more about each other. And that's what I want to see from Cleveland, and I think they will versus Indiana, because Indiana is going to test them. They're deep. They've been deep in the playoffs. They have a couple all-star players, and I think they're really going to test them, especially with Darius Garland being out, because I think Indiana will finish off Milwaukee with no Dame.
Yeah, I think Paul should take the Cavs pretty seriously, but I think he has been. I don't think you've been underselling how good the Cavs are, and they've been an ascending team for a while now. I don't know how much, you know, sweeping the Heat is, you know. But
they did it the right way.
They did, but I don't know how much of that is a gauge of what they're going to see for the rest of the postseason. But everyone should take them seriously. They're a good team, and like every single year, nobody's wishing for anything bad to happen, but things happen, and there's lots more basketball to play before they get to face off with each other. But I do think if we get that matchup, it'll be a long series.
The one thing I like
Celtics
about...
in 6?
But Celtics in 6. But the one thing I like, and think about this, though, the one thing I like versus what Cleveland did to Miami, what's going on in Boston, even though Boston's up 3-1, this has been a hard 3-1 series. It's been physical. Those type of matchups get you ready for the next round.
I agree with that.
Because, you know, the Knicks, they're going to be they're going to be pretty physical, but Orlando is a great test. And then we see New York. If we get through New York, it's all a preparation to the next round, and that's what we got. I'm not sure Cleveland really got a challenge in the first round, so I don't know how they'll come out in the next round. They may come out feeling themselves. They might come out like thinking it's going to be all easy and stuff, and Indiana may punch them in the mouth, and then it'd be a long series, so I don't know.
They've got to get some stars. They have to get some stars. The grit and grind and relying on role players is not going to work. It's a higher standard there, at least it should be. And they're not going to be able to do that if they don't bolster this roster significantly. So I agree with Bam. There's going to be some major changes in Miami this offseason. But, Paul, where did the Heat go from here?
I'm not so sure, Joy, because, I mean, I feel like Pat Riley kind of like single-handedly is tearing down Heat culture. Like, you know, you run the face of the culture in Jimmy Butler, and you see him in Golden State thriving, having an opportunity to push Golden State into the next round. It's like, you got to understand, other superstar players watch this. They talk in the locker rooms. They talk at All-Star Weekend. They talk in the summer when they working out. Like, man, do we want to go down there and really play under the Heat culture when, you know, these type of things go on? I really believe some things has to change within the Heat culture. They got to revamp it, realign the rules, get a new memo or something. I mean, guys don't want to have their lives off the court being monitored as grown men. Guys don't want to come in here and do 2-a-days for weeks at a time and be yelled at like little kids. And I don't know if that's still how it is, but I know that's how Heat culture used to be. But some things that have to change for Heat culture to get back to where it needs to be. It has to be a realignment of what's going on down there. And I truly believe that for superstars to want to even come down there, because it's not just about the weather and winning and culture anymore. It's about how you get treated, how our families is treated. It's about the whole line of things from top to bottom, and that's what players look like moving forward.
You know, they're definitely going to have to retool and figure it out, right? That's a given. There's no question about that. But and I hear everything Paul is saying, but for some reason, Pat Riley's a really good salesman. He knows how to sell the players. If you go back, the best, and you go back and you look at the start of Heat culture, wherever that was, he figured out how to go get a Shaq and put him with a D-Wade. Then he figured out how to go get all three of those guys and have them not one, not two, not three. Then go grab Ray Allen and get him and bring him along, right? And then all of a sudden that went wherever it went. They won a couple championships. Then he figured out how to go get Jimmy Butler and bring him along. I wouldn't be shocked to see if he went and tried to get a Kevin Durant, for instance, and a Giannis at the same time and say, come on here, we got this for you because I know you're not happy in Milwaukee and they want to get rid of you in Phoenix anyway. We got something for you. So I'm not ready to just completely just ignore who he is and the way that he's built that program over the years because he certainly knows, like Paul is saying, he can read the room. He knows that people are not willing to do the same things that they may have been willing to do 15, 20 years ago. You've got to change, and I'm pretty sure he's smart enough to know that.
Yeah, the Heat culture did not begin with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler fit the Heat culture when he first got there.
Yeah.
And then they weren't going to pay him because they didn't want to invest in him going forward in terms of the number that he wanted. And that's where things went sideways with them. In the short term, they're stuck because Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero take up the bulk of their cap, and they're all signed through next year. The whole idea was we don't want to extend Jimmy because we want to have room and flexibility a year from now. Kel'el Ware, I really like. I think he's a young, up-and-coming center. I think he's a keeper. Davion Mitchell, who they got from Toronto midway, I think you re-sign him. He's a restricted free agent. You keep him. And so it's really just a matter of how competitive can we be next year, and can we find a way to...
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.